Shelby.
And I'm Courtney.
We're exploring our past
Looking forward to our future,
and living for the present
all while
while
learning
learning how to
how to
live
live
magically.
magically. Did you just leave
Hello.
me hanging on that?
No, there's a little bit of a delay, I think.
I thought you were just like letting me free ball it. I got really nervous that I didn't know the words.
We're definitely like
Oh my
it's delayed,
God.
but we're good. Okay.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Tell me about your week.
My week. My week was good. My kid is crying. Oh my gosh, come on.
Stop
Um
it.
uh we're the naps are just the shortest naps ever in his bed. It's truly a struggle around here. My week it was good. Casey came to visit. She was doing my brother and Ashley's newborn photos. She found like dirt cheap flights from Spirit into our tiny airport, and she had like the easiest travel days ever. I may consider Spirit.
Amazing. I love
Like
that.
truly.
Yeah.
Anywho, irrelevant. Um, she came to visit, did those photos. We had Easter, and yeah, it was great. I feel like rejuvenated. I haven't been to Disney or to see you since last June,
Ugh.
and I feel like I was in like a little bit of a slump. But having like, she went and visited her friend, so basically we had like 2 days of just like us talking like business back and forth, and Disney and like all the things. And now I'm like, I have three new designs in my head that need to come to life now. And we fixed up my
Cool.
shop, and yeah, it was
You made
great.
some killer content.
We made some content, which I like never do anymore. So that was fun. It was like I had a coworker. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, I totally feel that.
And my shop, like we decorated my shop, and which I've been wanting to do since September when it got done. So
Yeah,
it was just cool. We checked things off the list. It was great.
I love that. It's one thing to have a good friend that comes to visit and like you do fun stuff and whatever. It's another to have a friend that comes and just like rolls up their sleeves. Either whether that's physically or metaphorically in like
Yeah.
Ideaville or
And
whatever.
that's what it is of like, I mean, I have great friends here at home too,
Yeah,
obviously. But when you can, I mean, you and I experience this all the time, is when you can like talk like business and go back and forth and like brainstorm all these ideas for like entrepreneurs. It's really can just light a fire so quickly. So it
totally.
was nice to have a couple days of that.
I'm so happy for you both. I'm sure it was just as rejuvenating for her. I hope. I mean, I'm sure.
I think so. I hope so.
Yeah. Very
And of
cool.
course, there's a few new really cute photos of Brooks on her camera that I can't wait to see. So
Yeah, just the ones I saw so far, 14 out of 10.
we did go out and did like a really, really small little mini shoot with me, Kyle, and him, just because we
Oh,
needed some updated photos because
yeah.
our newborn session, that's not even the same baby.
No,
And Brooks was like, he knew what he was there to do, and
he
he put on
understood the
a show.
assignment.
Yeah, he was ready. Put the show on, was smiling. Oh my God, it was great. I was like, yes, you knew it.
He was born to be an Instagram baby.
I guess so.
I love that. It's so funny. I was just with my friend Megan Swope last night, and she was like, I've never like met Shelby in person, and so I like don't want to weird her out or anything, but like she literally has the cutest baby that's ever been birthed. And I was like, I know.
I
Like,
mean, we are obviously we think that, but we like really deep down think that. And we we're
yeah,
like, is somebody gonna tell us the truth that he's not that cute? Because oh my gosh, I think he's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
he is very cute.
Like,
I
put
would
that
say you
kid on
lucked out, but like you earned it, you know?
I guess. But I used to like say to Ange all the time, like, what if he's ugly?
Yeah.
It's real fear. But now I'm like, put this kid on a diaper box, would you?
For real. I love
Anywho,
it. He could be a model.
so how was your week?
My week was good. Lots of crazy random stuff, but most
Okay.
importantly to you probably is I I attended the NFL owners meeting.
Oh, yes. Tell me
So
more.
of course I actually didn't attend and had no business even knowing it existed. But it just so happened that the hotel we stayed at this past weekend, was the same hotel that the NFL owners were at to host their annual meeting. And it was so funny because just like learning what's important to different people and like all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
I was with my friend Steph, who like loves football, especially the Green Bay Packers. She literally like got to see it was like watching a kid meet Santa when she met
Okay.
like Coach LaFleur or whatever his name is.
The hot
Like
one.
the hot one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was, I mean, truly like I'm surprised security didn't tackle us. And like not because we did anything wrong, just because like it, she was so excited. And
So
she like
excited.
is the most chill person on the planet. So to watch her get excited was like very endearing. And then I'm like looking at the owners because I'm more like, I don't care about football, but business I care about. And the owners of these teams are like Mr. Johnson of Johnson and Johnson, the Walmart family, like casual.
Isn't it crazy though when you really like people can just like own an NFL team?
And like, yeah, I mean, we're not talking about like a couple $100 million. We're talking about like billions of dollars.
Yes.
So it was just like a fascinating environment to be. Again, I didn't step
But
foot into any like business meeting or anything like that. I was by the pool, but just like
they
seeing
were
these
there.
people pass by, yeah, it was crazy.
And just knowing the amount of money they have,
Right. And like what
that
they've done
stuff.
to build it.
Yeah. Well, because you can like buy, I mean, maybe not so now, but we were just watching the Dynasty documentary about the Patriots, and like the Patriots sucked when Robert Kraft bought them. So I mean, he still paid a lot of money for them. But now what the Patriots are worth, even though he signed,
Yeah.
is like, it's a crazy thing that you can just buy a football team. I don't know.
Yeah. And that I also learned the Green Bay Packers are the only owner or like fan owned team. They're like owned
Oh,
by stocks.
yes. I don't know how I knew that. Somebody told me that before. Very, very interesting.
Yeah. So Stephanie is like a proud stockholder of
Uh,
the Green Bay Packers, which was cool. She was like, "Oh, the owners meeting, should I be here to attend? Like,
right.
here's my stock." I loved it. It was
Yes.
great.
That's so fun.
Yeah. Also super cool for me on a personal note. I saw Megan, who is my best friend from college. I saw
Mhm.
Stephanie, who's my best friend from high school, and then I saw Julie, who's my best friend from like grade school. So it was just like crazy inception to go back in time. Like Julie, I
Yeah.
have in like 10 years, and it was a a neat life experience this week.
And then here you are now, right? Like you like revisit all those past lives.
Yeah, and like where I am today.
Yeah.
And crazy, 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 crazy. Also, like you never know what's going on in other people's journeys. Um,
Hmm.
so I learned so many things. It was a neat time.
Good, good, good. Good company all
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, we're lucky people this week. Although like I still am really truly dying to see you. So we have a special brand of magic.
We really do. But I will be there when we're recording right now, I'll be there with you in 1 month from today.
Oh my gosh, don't give me anxiety because that means I'm going to Italy soon and like I'm not prepared.
I was literally thinking about that yesterday when I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to Florida in 1 month from today. Wait, isn't Courtney going to Italy? Like, why hasn't this even been in conversation? Because I would be way more like, spazzing out than you are, but I guess you've been before, so maybe you know a little bit what to expect. But
I guess. I mean, yeah, I just have to like really think about what I'm gonna pack. I have to pack strategically.
yeah,
You never know what could come at you. We could be hiking one day, we could be on the beach one day, we could be at a fancy dinner one day. So like,
who
you never
knows?
know. Yeah.
It's just like you kind of casually like, yeah, we're all going to be in Italy that time, and now I really haven't heard from it about it since. And now we're like
Yeah.
a month out, and I'm like, you know, you're going to Italy, right?
Yeah, I'm forgetting too. I'm one of those like, last minute people, so
But
we'll
also
see if
not
I make
really
it.
because you've been like up my butt about booking Disneyland, which
Disneyland is a beast. I've learned so much. Oof.
so I gotta get on it, but you're on it, so
You got to get on it and like let me just gently encourage you that whether you decide to book through disneyland.com direct or through like booking.com or I mean I don't know about Airbnb. But at least those two options, I looked at like various hotels on and off property, down the street,
yeah.
down the road, everything. And everything is full money back guarantee until at least 30 days out.
Oh well, that's
So
good.
like just book it. You can always cancel it, change the dates, whatever. But the amount of terror that went through my veins when I thought all the hotels were booked because they were having like a website glitch, I almost died.
Well, but it is like I don't know if it's because of the race, but it's pricey.
Yeah. Oh, it's super, super pricey. And
Woo!
stuff's like going. It's booking up.
Which means it's probably just gonna get pricier. So yeah, we got to book. I just need to
Yeah.
sit down Kyle and figure out what we're doing. But
Get on it,
anyway,
Kyle.
I know. Um, well, speaking of booking and how much things cost, what are we talking about today?
I am so excited. I feel like this episode is actually long overdue. We are
I
talking about DVC.
yes.
So, Disney Vacation Club.
I it's cool. I'm a part of it now.
You're in the club. I'm so
I'm in the
excited.
club. In
Your
the club.
stuff is like officially finalized, right?
We like sent it all in, but we haven't like officially closed yet,
Okay.
if that makes sense. But they have all of our documents, all our notarized stuff, and yeah, we've done everything on our part. We just haven't officially closed yet.
And what are you waiting for?
Um, I don't really know. I
Just
mean,
like takes time. Yeah.
it takes time, I guess. I don't know.
That's fair. Totally
Yeah,
fair.
yeah,
And so just for like setup and background, I bought DVC direct from Disney in 2011,
okay,
and you bought DVC resale
yeah,
in 2023 or 2024?
2024 because this month. So
2024.
yeah,
So we have two very different experiences to share from.
yes,
And you also have stayed in a lot more like Disney hotels than I have, or at least close, because you've been a guest that you don't live here. So you
of
come and
course.
stay in a hotel and have for a
Okay,
long time.
yeah,
So just like a lot of unique things to pull from, which I think will be fun.
agreed.
Since
Should we start by, I mean, maybe you discussing your buying process, and then I can discuss my buying process, and then we'll go into like the further details.
yeah, absolutely. I actually don't, so long ago, I don't remember a ton about it except
Yeah,
some highlights for me that I don't think they do anymore are that when you even just like toured direct with Disney, like when you go up to one of those kiosks in the park and you say like, oh, I'm interested,
yeah,
they would book you a time and schedule a shuttle. So like for us, we were staying, I think at Pop Century, and we had of course like park plans and stuff, but we just said like come get us, I don't know, like 8 in the morning.
hmm
We'll do the tour and then like they will drop you off at the hotel or at the park or wherever you want to go.
I did this
So
before.
yeah, so they like picked us up, we did the tours, it was great. They have like a free ice cream place So we got
Mm-hmm.
ice cream. We got back in the day, they gave us three fast passes,
Yes, that's what I got too.
which was awesome. Like,
Like,
like to give you your time back, which is
yeah.
fair because like I did give them time.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know what they do now.
yeah, I don't know or if they do anything now. Maybe they do. I don't know.
Well, for
Um,
the prices that we just looked at, they should be given out.
yeah, they should be giving out like cars. Um, but they're really good too. And I will say compared to any other timeshare presentation I've ever gone to, because DVC is at its core a timeshare.
Yes.
Um, it is no pressure, like not zero none.
Yes.
I never felt so, I mean, yes, they like ask for your email address and they'll follow up with you and stuff, but like nobody like held me hostage. Nobody gave
Right.
me like an angry face. Nobody brought their manager in. Like there was no shame or guilt or stress. It was just like, here's the options.
I do think DVC in itself, like if you're interested in buying DVC, it's probably because you love going to Disney, right? And
Yes,
I do think that if you go to that presentation, or really if you're like listening to this podcast and you go and stay at Disney property often, this DVC can sell itself.
agree. And
So
by the end
that's
of this, I
why,
feel like everybody's gonna agree.
yes, exactly. So that's why I think doing those tours and like seeing the different options is kind of fun, and it really is no pressure because again, I do think like Disney knows that if you want it, DVC sells itself.
Yes. And I can see why. I mean, I bought it,
Yes.
so I can see why.
Um, what were we saying?
So tell us about your DVC resale experience.
Well, you didn't even get into buying yours.
Oh, just like it's the first and only time, easiest time, not only time. AJ has just like looked in my eyes. I made puppy dog eyes and he was like, we'll buy it.
It's
We
said and done.
literally hadn't been out of college a month. Like it was dumb. We were really dumb to buy it, but I'm
But
so
not
thankful
really.
that we have it right now. Yeah, now I'm like, we made the best decision of all time.
Especially because I'm sure you got it for way cheaper than what they're selling now.
Unbelievably cheaper,
Yeah,
like half.
crazy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we bought resale and we had known that we wanted to do it, and we'll go further into why we picked resale versus direct in a few, but basically we used DVC resale market, and it is a website and you can go on there and literally look at listings as if they're like homes, and you go through and decide how many points you want or where you want to stay or where you want to buy in particular. So for you, when you bought direct, you have Grand Floridian, right?
Right.
At the time, do you remember what was available for you?
I think Grand Floridian and maybe Alani at that point. I feel like
Okay.
Alani's always available.
I do. I agree with that. Yeah. So when you buy direct, you only have like a couple options usually, depending on what they're selling at the time. But resale, you can pretty much buy anywhere. I guess kind of depending on how many points you want and how much you want to spend. We were pretty set on wanting to buy like on the monorail route, just with Brooks being young and potentially having another kid in the future. It just made sense to be on the monorail loop for easier transportation. We searched for a little while to find like a price that we wanted and like one that like looked right. Because when you do buy resale, you can literally put in an offer as if you're buying a car or a house or something. So when we found the one that we wanted at Bay Lake Tower, you put in an offer and the sellers accepted and go through the paperwork and boom.
That's amazing. And with DVC resale, I'll mention this again at the end, but you have like a guide there, and I was incidentally chatting with him today. But we're gonna get sort of a referral situation set up for us between us and them. So if people want to talk to them or have like want a specific connection to a specific guide that
Mhm.
we know and trust, either on the direct side or the resale side, we'll be able to connect people. I mean, go find them yourself too, but like
Yeah.
if you want to use our people, we're happy to share that information.
And I will say there are different DVC resale sites that you can go to, but I mean, the process with Disney DVC resale market was so seamless, like truly so easy.
I
And
believe that.
we did put money down and then we are financing a little bit and we're going through their financing people and they work one-on-one with them. So basically all we had to do was like email the financing people and say, hey, we're doing this. And they said, okay. We didn't even have to do like a credit check and it didn't like all of that. But they worked right alongside with them and we barely had any contact with the financing people. Like,
Love that.
so, which that to me can get really super duper confusing and overwhelming.
Yes.
And nope, when we got our paperwork to do everything to close, all of our financing paperwork was in that and was in the same packet to get like notarized and stuff with it. So it wasn't all like go through financing and then financing goes to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it wasn't
Really?
like siloed. It was
Yes,
like
exactly.
all together in one.
Yes. So the process was so smooth and yeah.
I love that. I love that. Disney was the same. Disney handled our financing because we financed,
Mhm.
obviously, like a chunk of ours. And same thing, like it was all bundled into one. It was very different from like home ownership or other expensive things I've bought
Yeah.
before where you have to like figure all that stuff out.
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like this, yeah, this is a little bit easier.
very much so. So,
Amazing. Okay. I want to start. We're going to go through like a couple questions. Basic. I feel like we're going to stay like very surface level, but still, it's like there's a lot to know about DVC. And I think the biggest thing that keeps people from buying it is like not understanding because there's just like a lot of moving parts.
I agree with that. Yes.
So, for the purposes of today's educational lesson, I feel like we're gonna just discuss owning 100 points, just because that makes math easy. It's also the number of points I own, so.
Okay, so
But
we have 125.
amazing. But I feel like, yeah,
Close.
100 is just like a flat, like a good round, easy number.
And from the people I have talked to who have GVC, it kind of seems like that's the average.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so I don't want to skip ahead, but I'm going to. If you want to buy direct from Disney now, today, the minimum that you can buy in at is 150 points. Obviously, when I bought, that wasn't the case. And then even going back further, people who bought in like in the beginning, like old Key West days, could buy 50.
It's just crazy because I know how much those points go for right now, which
Yeah.
I know we're going to discuss, but that's crazy.
Yeah. It's like you're not messing around, you're committed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you stayed DVC before?
Like on points
Yeah,
or
or on anybody's points?
actually, well, yours.
Okay.
And um with Ashton once, I went with her, Patrick, and it was just when she had Maylee. We stayed at like a 2 bedroom at the beach club on her points.
Nice. Okay. So can you kind of tell me, because you've stayed at like every resort, what your main takeaways are between like a DVC room and a regular guest room?
Well, I definitely have like more. Well, so when I stayed with Ashton and Patrick, it was a 2 bedroom. And I mean, 2 bedrooms with full bathrooms, a full living room, kitchen area. So you definitely have more options to stay at bigger spaces like that. And they're so nice and so new. Like everything is very, very, very well kept. But you just have more amenities. And because you were saying, Kate, they didn't have like a refrigerator in their room, which
Right.
I'm pretty sure you will never stay at a DVC room without a refrigerator.
Yeah, I was trying to think back on that because recently I've been very blessed to stay in like one bedrooms and above,
Yeah.
but I feel like there's always at least like a fridge, a sink, or a mini
Yeah.
fridge, but like not even a mini fridge, usually like like a 3/4 or above size fridge.
but at least a mini fridge.
Yeah, yeah, and like a microwave, a dishwasher, like full
Yeah.
kitchen.
They're just very, very, very nice and very, very well kept.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there are some you tend to have like very good taste in hotels, and so I feel like we're not going to find you staying at like an Old Key West anytime soon or like a Saratoga Springs. Those ones are a
Okay, so
little
I have stayed at an Old Key West before, or not a Old Key West. I've stayed at Old Key West before.
yeah.
When I when I was a nanny and they took me with them, and that was also a 2 bedroom, and it was very, very nice. It's just you
Mhm.
can tell that it is much older than the other resorts. Um, and I know that these aren't like DVC rooms, but I have stayed at the Contemporary, like in Garden Wing or whatever.
Yeah.
And while the room was nice because it's new, it was the Incredibles themed room. I hated
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And I've discussed that before. It was like so far out, and the amount of money you pay for that, it sucked. But
Yeah, picking your room, whether DVC or just like regular guest, is oh, you got to really know what you're talking about.
yeah, yeah. So that's a whole other thing. But a DVC room is gonna have,
Yeah.
I think, like all the they when they say welcome home, they're trying to make you feel like you're at home. So you're gonna have those like amenities. I don't know.
Even like a washer and a dryer. I feel like every DVC room I've stayed in has a washer dryer. That's a
Yes,
big deal.
yes,
Like
yes. Especially with
huge
like
deal.
it wasn't probably to me before, but now thinking about him and
Yeah, just
if
like
he
nice to have.
exactly.
Like easy to have. Okay, yeah. So I love the upgrade of a DVC room. And even like so like Old Key West is old, but they have the biggest rooms, I think, on property. So like you're still getting something.
I remember the room was massive and it had this
Yeah.
like jacuzzi tub, but also a shower. Oh my God, it was so nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
And then when you move up the ranks, either in room size or in hotel like newness, you get a whole new level of perks. Like last year, we stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge in a 3 bedroom villa,
Mm,
and it was literally 2 stories, floor to
it's
ceiling windows, overlooking the savannah. Every single person had their own bathroom en suite. Like, I mean, there was like an upstairs
unreal.
sitting room, a downstairs living room, an entrance, a guest bath, like a fourth bathroom,
Right. That's crazy.
a dining area, like a full dining room table with full seating for like 8 people.
Right. Not just like this isn't a nice apartment. That was a house.
Right. Yeah, it was definitely like a house. And like, we had a huge balcony that like
Hmm.
overlooked the giraffes and all that cool stuff. So, um, yeah, crazy. And like at the Floridian, for example, the mirrors have TVs in them in the bathroom.
So insane.
It's just like they have like a shower and a tub. Like,
It,
what?
yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. So I think it's worth noting that we're not just talking about like a hotel room, like 2 beds and a coffee maker and a tub. We're talking about like an experience.
Yes.
Okay. My next question is, what are points and how do they work?
All right.
What do you know?
So you buy your points. So you buy your lump sum of points. Like you said, we're going to discuss 100 points. And then you cash in your points to stay on property. So rather than paying X amount of dollars, you're paying X amount of points. And the points per stay vary depending on when you go. Of course, like a Monday through Thursday, those points are less, just as if you were paying dollars. Depends on the time of year, and it also depends on the resort.
Yes, you nailed it. So the value of your points goes further particular times of year, which you just said, and same as dollars. So I forget, I think it was the Polynesian, And a week at the Polynesian could vary from 104 points to 242 points, depending on the time of year.
Right.
So,
So
but the same with dollars. If you're trying to stay Christmas week, you're going to pay a premium for that.
exactly.
So it's kind of relative, but they tell you that all up front, and there's no like surge pricing, which I don't know if they do this with rooms yet, but like on an airline when like the as more seats sell, the price of the seat
Goes
goes up.
up. Right.
This is like at the beginning of the year what the point values are.
Yes.
And they've also I can't like fully process or understand this, but they will never increase the number of points it takes to stay at a resort year over year. So like it might cost more during Christmas next year, like 25 points instead of 24 points a night, but then like slow season will cost like a point less. So the total of the year, if you were going to stay a whole year, would be the same. Always.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That does make sense because I have read that multiple times and I couldn't understand what they meant by that. Because they say like the value of I think the way that they word it is like of the value of a point doesn't go up or something like that. I might be saying that.
Yeah, so like it's in 2050, a room that today is 25 points in 2050 isn't going to be like 200 points.
Yes.
So like you're basically hedging your bets against inflation.
Right. But the cost of a point varies.
Yes. So like what I paid for a point, I can't do math very well, but back in the day, our points I think were 150 a point, less than that because just to be fully transparent, I have 100 points. We paid $15,000 and we own them until I think 2060.
Okay.
So now we'll skip ahead, but like now a point directly from Disney is
225.
225. Yeah.
Because I just checked that because I'll be transparent as well. We bought ours at $123 a point. And our contract also goes until 2060 because when you buy a resale, you're finishing out somebody else's contract. Didn't
Right.
mention that. But so ours goes to 2060. But for $123 a point, where if we bought direct, one, we would have had to buy more points and would have been $225 a point.
Yeah. And once you've converted, it's like funny money, but like once you've converted your dollars into points, everybody's equal.
It's just
Your points and my points mean the same.
correct.
So, yeah, it's a lot to understand, but also once you understand it, you understand it.
Yes.
Also, it's worth noting that points can be used on things other than Disney. So if you want to go on a cruise, you can use your points toward cruises. If you want to go to Italy and stay in like a fancy hotel, you can use your points. What, you can't?
Only if you buy direct.
Really?
Yes. So I guess we can jump
Well,
that real quick.
but you have your own marketplace to do this on.
But I can't spend my points on a Disney cruise or Adventures by Disney. So these are the things that you lose when you buy resale, which the also interesting to note though is all this stuff changes. So like what I'm
Yes.
not allowed currently right now as we're speaking, eventually I could be allowed, but right now they're not allowing it. So one, I don't get discounts on annual passes.
There are none right now. So even if
Which
you buy direct, there's no discount.
really?
Yep.
Oh,
I
that's
chatted with Disney this morning to confirm that fact, and she sent me to some like special deal of the month they're having on generic tickets, but no DVC sales on tickets or annual passes.
that's wild.
Yeah.
But interesting ones that I don't get access to. I don't get access to like the lounges. So even
Mm-hmm.
Top of the World Lounge, the lounge in Epcot, no, for resellers. And I don't get DVC discounts, which doesn't bother me because I will have my annual pass back and those are the same discounts.
Hmm.
Um, but I also am not eligible for like those DVC events.
Yeah, so like DVC, I think they're
I
called
know they
like
have,
DVC After Dark or something.
yeah, or something like those, like any of those. And I know that they used to do one at,
Moonlight Magic.
like, yeah, I think it was like Blizzard Beach. They did that once. No, not for resale.
Well,
However, I
yeah.
know that they used to allow them.
I'm learning the more I dug in today. My again, like we keep skipping to the plot here, but like I think the takeaway is that like Disney knows that resale is kicking their butts and
Absolutely.
they want to make resale less appealing than full price because I mean people are like why.
Correct. So the craziest one, which I actually did not know this when I bought until we were researching today, is I cannot use my points at Riviera
Yep.
or the cabins. I assume because the new cabins that are being built.
Yep.
But then you dug further into that, and because I know that I could have bought resale at Riviera,
Yeah.
but what did you find out?
So it seems my understanding based on the different parties I chatted with and what I read, etc., that in 2019, Disney decided no more use of resale points on new properties, essentially. So like Riviera is new since then, the cabins will be new since then, etc., etc. So you won't be able to use your points if they're resale towards
Mm-hmm.
those things. Whereas like a direct contract, you can. Um, but you can buy a Riviera resale contract. But if you buy a Riviera resale contract, you can only use it at Riviera.
Just wild.
So
Um,
like don't buy those, in my
let's
opinion. I don't know.
we're all over the place right now, but something we didn't touch on, which I think is important, is why you choose where you buy.
That's what's next. What is a home resort?
Oh, okay, great. So home resort. So we chose Bay Lake again because monorail. I hope I'm correct when I say this. So now I know that I can book Bay Lake Tower 11 months out.
Yes.
But if I can use my points at other places, not Riviera, um, and I can book those out 7 months out,
Yep.
which so it doesn't guarantee me like the certain week that I want because it could already be gone. Um, I assume this is on your list too, but you can
Yep.
go on to like a wait list as well if it wasn't available. But that's what a home resort is.
Yeah. So your home resort is basically like if you have an attachment to like for you it's really important for you that you are on the monorail because you're thinking about like strollers and convenience and like
Mm-hmm.
you love the Magic Kingdom, etc., etc. So having a home resort that you like gives you a greater chance of getting that resort in general because you get to book before it's even available to everybody else.
Right.
um to
Um,
me that actually doesn't, I mean, I have like a hierarchy of needs. So for me, if I was going to buy again more points, additional points to add to my contract, I
yep.
would 10 out of 10 buy resale. And I think I would buy like um somewhere crazy like Vero Beach. The points are under $100.
Okay. I'm gonna piggyback that statement. So I had the same exact thing when we were buying. I was like, why isn't everybody buying Vero Beach? Because
Yeah,
you're paying like
peanuts.
so for your points. It's insane, right? But
Yeah,
you can go and use your points somewhere else. And
yeah.
I truly did. And then I was talking to Ashton, and she made so much sense because she also owns. She has a couple contracts, but one of theirs is Bay Lake Tower, and she says we have that, and we always book like their Halloween trip, and I think possibly also their Christmas trip on at Bay Lake because they go to the parties and stuff, and
Right.
it's so much easier to walk to Magic Kingdom. So she's like, we always book 11 months out our Halloween party trip and whatever at Bay Lake Tower. And I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense. But I think once, like now we have our contract at Bay Lake Tower. And I think
Yeah.
like once this is paid off and if we're interested in buying another, like why wouldn't you do Vero Beach?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And I have so you still then you have two home resorts. So you have like in the situation you just described, you would have contemporary Bay Lake Tower contemporary points and Vero Beach points. Both can be used anywhere. Of course, that means you can book Vero Beach and Bay Lake Tower
Not Riviera.
first. Not Riviera, sorry, not Riviera, and no cabins for you.
No, no, no.
But like for me, I don't care. I mean, sometimes I very much do care where I'm staying, but it's like a different kind of care. Like I care because I'm booking with kids who are of the age that really appreciate animals. So I want to stay at Animal
Yes.
Kingdom Lodge, or like people who are going to be going to Disney Springs. So we want to be at Saratoga, or like different, I don't know, it's
So
different.
I completely agree with you. And you and I are very much the same when it comes to like trips and where we stay and that kind of thing. And a lot of the times we don't plan in advance. Like we're
Right.
very just go with the flow. So if we have these points to stay at any DVC place anywhere and we're going to go in a month, we're going to look to see what's available and we'll be happy to end up anywhere, right? On point.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
even if we go on a wait list somewhere and they stick us at Old Key West, oh well, like we really don't care. Like we're
No.
now if you're somebody who like wants to stay at the Polynesian for a week in a 2 bedroom whatever, then I think it's a little bit different. Know what I mean?
Well, and the differences aren't crazy. I mean, it depends. It's not like crazy. If you know what you want and you like for you, what makes the most sense for you in your life based on literally your family structure, the amount of times you travel here, etc. It makes all the sense in the world because for you, for example, you're saving hundreds of dollars a trip on Ubers because I just know you. And if you were staying at Old Key West, you would just take an Uber every time to the Magic Kingdom.
Right.
So it's worth the extra money and the convenience to like know you're going to get where you want to be, all that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I love that. There's a lot more to know and to unpack with that. So there's also use years and use or not use years, contract length years. So like everybody, I didn't fully process this until recently. Everybody who bought Grand Floridian has the same use or the same expiration year as me.
Oh,
Yeah. So all the contracts are the same. So like whether I bought it direct back in the day or you're going to buy it resale tomorrow, we're all expiring. I think it's 2060.
yeah.
We're all expiring at the same time. And like that needs to go into your math calculation of like what a point is worth because
That
you
is
might have 10.
interesting.
Yeah, because it's like based on when it's built, I think, and stuff like that. Maybe I don't know. It's like a real estate question, but your length of contract is different. So maybe like Old Key West points are significantly cheaper than Riviera points, but an Old Key West contract is guaranteed to expire way before a
And
Riviera
yeah,
contract.
yes.
So you're getting less years out of your money.
Right.
You got to like just factor all that in. Okay. We talked about home resorts. The other thing about home resorts that's worth noting is annual dues.
Mm.
So you pay like a one-time fee for your points. I paid $15,000. Um, you also have to pay an annual due, and it's a very small amount per point. So for you at the Contemporary this last year, it was $7.59 a point. So
Mhm.
$759 on 100 points. If you compare that to like Old Key West, those are $9.87 a point, so more. And the reason for that, my guide or whatever they're called explained to me is Old Key West is like a bunch of big, wide buildings. So
I
there's
know.
like 3 stories, like 15 rooms, a building, whatever. Whereas yours is basically like a condo unit.
Yes.
So the maintenance, the damage from hurricanes,
Yep.
all that kind of stuff is very different. The dues at like Vero Beach and what's the other one? Hilton Head
Hilton Head. Uh,
are,
yeah, Hilton Head.
is that right?
Yeah.
They're all above 10. They're like 15, 12 to
They're
$15 a
massive.
point. Because they're massive, because it's like a different vibe. So, I mean, the difference between the Contemporary and Old Key West for 100 points, we're talking about like $228 a year. So it's not breaking the bank, but it's worth considering.
Yeah, it is something that you have to remember you do have to pay every year.
Yeah,
The way that our guy explained it though, because this was where Kyle was like, this is stupid. I don't want to pay annual dues. Is it's kind of like your service fee
that
when
too.
you
Yeah,
when you pay with dollars.
right, right. And because you
So
don't like pay tax, you don't get like a tax bill
right.
unless you're in California. California has its own animal. I could do like a 10-hour podcast on California and the many downfalls of California DVC, but it's a different animal.
Yeah.
Over here, we play pretty normal.
And probably 'cause there's like more, but anyways.
Yeah,
So it's like your service fee, yeah. So
yeah, love
that's that.
that. Okay, the main differences, besides the ones we've already discussed, between direct and resale. The minimum buy-in. So if you buy directly from Disney, if you walk onto Walt Disney World tomorrow, speak to a guide, give them your money, whatever, you have to buy a minimum of 150 points. So that's great. It gets you a lot of vacation, but 150 points, you're making a significant investment. In fact, I wish I had a calculator because, yeah, hold on. I want to math it out. If we're talking about 150 points and they're 225, that's $33,750. That is the minimum you can get away with from
Just your
Disney.
points. You do get charged like closing costs and things as well. So
Yes, yes.
just on your points. That is
Yeah.
wild.
And it's an investment because, like, the next thing we'll get to is how much you're actually saving, no matter where you bought your points,
Right.
compared to walking in the door and giving them your credit card. But yeah, Disney is requiring a pretty significant commitment upfront.
It's and I can't believe the not getting a discount on like the annual pass thing.
Yeah, no, there's like no discounts. I mean, we'll get there too, but it's very interesting. It's a very interesting time to be alive in the DVC world.
Yeah.
By contrast, if you buy resale, if you can find one, they have contracts as low as 25.
25 points.
So 25 points. That was the original entry amount. So you're just based on logic, you're probably only going to find a 25-point contract at one of the historic resorts, like one of the older ones, like Saratoga, Old Key West.
So
Just
you're
because
fine.
they weren't available
Right.
like when the newer resorts were built. But in theory, you could totally buy like a 25-point contract and ease your way into the DVC bubble. There are a couple offers to compare. So right now, if you buy with Disney Direct, they will give you it's a range of discounts based on how many points you're buying and where, but just as an example, $3,500 off 150 points. So the minimum you can buy is 150. The minimum savings is $3,500. So that takes you from 33,750 to what? 30,000? Like still a lot. Resale via the website you used right now is offering a $500 gift card.
Yeah.
So significantly less savings or coupons. But when you're talking about buying points at $225 versus 115, I don't
Yeah.
really need your
I need to
coupon.
look up like DVC resale, how much the a Riviera point is. I'm just so curious right now.
I love it. There's, yeah, so much.
But
I've
go on.
been sitting here for hours reading about this because and I own my points and I'm not buying more points right now. But it's crazy. And if you're a person who is a Disney adult or you have kids and like that's right, whatever your reason is, if you know you're going to be into Disney for like, I don't know, 10 years, you'd be stupid not to buy DVC. In my opinion. Maybe
No, I
I'm missing
agree.
something. Maybe there's
And
something I don't understand. I'm not
no,
like a math
I'm
genius.
stupid for not buying like sooner.
But you don't know what you don't know.
Oh my God.
What?
So Riviera, you can buy 70 points. There's a listing right now for 75 points, $139 a point.
So even half of
155 points you can buy for $128 a point.
wow. So
That's why.
to me that the Riviera punishment, as I will call it, is really on new buyers. So new direct buyers, because basically if I wanted to resell my contract tomorrow, people could use it anywhere but Riviera or what the other things we discussed. Whereas now, if you buy a Riviera contract and you have regret, you people don't want your contract isn't as interesting to people
Yeah,
unless you like are a diehard Riviera fan, which is fine.
and it is. We are not dissing Riviera because
I love
Riviera
Riviera is like my favorite. Yeah,
is a stunning resort.
stunning.
Yes, but
But
in the
yeah,
DVC world, that's crazy.
yeah, yeah, wild.
Yeah.
They're really trying to get you to buy direct, stay direct, the whole thing.
And I get it, right?
Yeah,
As a
right.
business standpoint, totally get it.
Same. Um, Resale doesn't get the same perks, which we touched on a little
Mhm.
before. We can touch on that a little more later. And with resale, you can buy resale as low as $57 a point. That's as of today, just like me doing a casual search on one resale website. There are a few resale websites, so I'm sure there are different
And
deals, different times of the year, whatever. But $57 a point versus 225
I'm guessing that was Vero Beach.
Vero Beach. Yeah. But you can use Vero Beach points at the Floridian, at the
Mhm.
Polynesian, at Animal Kingdom
Cra-
Lodge.
Crazy.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, if you are destined to stay at the Floridian for Christmas every year, you need to buy Floridian.
Yes.
That would be dumb of you not to. But if you don't really care and you don't travel at like peak periods, like for me, I just pop over there for like the weekend sometimes.
Right.
It's just different. We're talking about such different ways of
And
traveling, and you get what works for you.
exactly. It's hard to like we can't tell you what to buy is kind of what we're saying.
No, no.
We just
Um,
share what info we know.
well, and now is the point in the show where we're gonna blow everyone's
Wait,
mind.
pause.
Yes,
I just want to share real quick about points
do it.
and that you can borrow from the year coming up or carry over.
That's later, but okay.
Oh,
Yes, you
I
can
thought we were like blowing people's minds
at the end, like for a
towards the
grand
end.
finale.
Yeah.
I just snuck it in the middle. I don't know why. Tell
Okay.
us, tell us about banking and borrowing because that's a really important thing to know about.
So a lot of people, when you tell people you're buying a timeshare, they're like, think it's the worst thing ever. And a
Mhm.
huge benefit with DVC is you can bank and borrow. So if you don't go for a year, now you just have double upped points for the next year. And now you can stay at the nicest place ever if you wanted to. Or if you have like something coming up and you already used your points in the last year, you can borrow from the year ahead.
Yes. Also of note, between a regular traditional timeshare and DVC, you're not locked into like a lot of people I know who have like a Marriott timeshare. You own like January 7th through the 14th every year,
Hmm.
and that's your time. Whereas with Disney, you have points. If you want to go in December, great. If you don't want to go this year, great. If you want to have a
Yep.
blowout next year, great. Like
Hmm.
in my opinion, as flexible as it needs to be.
Agreed. Okay.
Um,
Sorry.
for
Now,
banking and borrowing, really I abuse it all the time actually, but my most notorious use of this was for my best friend Stephanie's bachelorette
mm,
party. I banked, begged, and borrowed. I did it all. However, I was able to put our full bachelorette party up in a Polynesian bungalow for like a 4-day weekend. Um, for her bachelorette. And I covered the whole hotel, which I'm not saying that to be boastful. I'm saying that because I've been on a lot of bachelorettes now and like
yeah.
they're not cheap. And it was free for us in my girl math because like we've already paid for it and like whatever. But once in a lifetime experience, I don't think I'll ever
Mhm.
stay in a bungalow again. Maybe, I don't know.
Now,
But
I don't know how much it is to stay at a bungalow, but I'm gonna guess that if you were to pay dollars, because you can never find one, if you were to pay dollars, it would probably be the cost of your points total.
yeah, that's a great point,
So,
actually.
just saying.
I'm looking it up now because like I need to know. Okay. Bungalow.
They're like,
Unavailable.
yeah, they're never available.
Oh my gosh. Who knew?
I know.
But like, good for Disney. We
Exactly.
love keeping the stock price up. Okay, so 14, we'll try this. I'm doing like search way out into 2025 just to see.
Okay.
And nothing. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So the takeaway here is you can't book a bungalow unless you have Polynesian DVC points. So don't even consider it.
So if that's your dream, then you need to buy Polynesian.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I can't say anything bad about it. It's baller.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Okay, this says I just did a Google search. The retail cash price for a Polynesian bungalow is 3,200 plus per night. So, wow, it says like 6,000 to 8,000 a week. That math doesn't math for me.
That
But
doesn't math,
oh,
but
on points, I see. So cash 3,200 a night. So what is that? Like
also that's 3 nights would be $9,000.
so you go for a week, it's $22,000. And that's a contract. That's crazy to me.
That's nuts.
Okay, so let's talk about this crazy girl math that we're doing that we keep alluding to so people can see for
This
themselves
is
and kind of process.
wild.
Yeah, I feel like I like missed a comma or something when I did this math. So everybody get your pen and papers out. Work along with me. This is what we're going to do.
Here we go.
Okay. We're talking about 100 points. 100 points is 100 points. If you buy through Disney Direct, the example I pulled from was Riviera, just because that's one of the couple that's available for sale right now. 100 points, $225 per point. So that's the $22,500 in a contract. Plus, like you said, closing fees, but everybody has closing fees, direct resale, whatever. So I'm just
Yeah.
not even counting them. Annual dues at Riviera last year were $885. And the contract at Riviera expires in 2070. So if you bought Riviera tomorrow, you could earn 46 years of vacations. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because between this year and 2070 is 46 years. So if you divide out that total amount that you paid, $22,500, by 46, you're paying $4.89 per point per year.
Got it.
Okay, got it? 489. If you do the same math on a resale, I just picked one out of the blue. I didn't pick the cheapest. I didn't pick the most expensive. I didn't even pick one that was on sale. At the Grand Floridian, you're going to pay $15,900 for 100 points. So we have $22,500 for 100 points, or $15,000. $15,000, $22,000. That's a big difference. The annual dues at the Floridian are $757, so close. And those points expire in 2064. So you would only get 40 years of points instead of 46. But those points are $3.98 per point per year. So you're paying $3.98 versus $4.89.
Got it.
Okay. If you want to understand what that actually means, I looked at a week at the Polynesian in the slow season. So in September, pro tip, don't come here in September. Like, it's our last saving grace of any time that I can breathe around here. But like, come in September, slow season, a week at the Polynesian, 7 nights in a deluxe studio is
100 points should get you that.
Yeah, 104 points.
Okay.
And you can buy like one-time use extra points at $20 a point. So it's like negligible. But, okay, so if you had bought a direct contract and you paid $4.89 a point and you're going to use 104 points, whatever that math is, so $4.89 times 104 plus the annual dues that year of $885, you're going to pay $1,374 for a week at the Polynesian. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it again. $1,374.
Yes.
If you do that same math on the resale contract, you're paying $1,171. So,
but wait.
Yeah, those are like close. I understand comparing and contrasting those. We're talking about a couple $100 difference a year, but it adds up over 40 years. So there's that. Now, if I just went to like disneyworld.com and booked the same dates, but with cash or a credit card, that room that we're paying $1,100 for, $6,273.
It's sick.
I don't even the math is not mathing to me. I'm coming back. Like,
I saw your notes about this and I literally texted you and said, this is fascinating.
It is, or as you said, that's my new favorite phrase. You said this on the pod a couple weeks ago. This is bonanza.
It like, what?
I mean, 1,100 versus 6,200. That's your park tickets, your flights, all your snacks, all your souvenirs, a nanny, a stroller that you can throw away at the end, a full open bar for your entire trip. And then you go home with like another couple $1,000.
That's nuts.
Like, no. And then I actually, since you looked at the doc, I think I took it a step further because we also have friends who argue, well, you guys are bougie. You like to stay at the fancy places. I'm going to stay at All Star Music. This conversation is irrelevant to me. And to that I say, that same room that you and I are paying $1,100 for at the Polynesian
Tell me.
You can get a standard room, so like no fridge, no washer and dryer, no monorail loop, whatever. You're at the All Stars for the
Hmm.
same week, the same exact dates, everything the same for cash at the All Star Music,
Shut.
$3,245.
No.
Yeah,
Are you sure that's like not with tickets?
I don't think so. I'm gonna look again now. You make me concerned.
Because that is insane.
Yeah, I was like, haha, the joke's on you guys. Like, and I know there are people that find like crazy deals on
Mm,
the rooms and stuff. So, like, I've seen Kate has paid like under $100 a night in the last like 3 years, which to me, I didn't know was possible. But
That's
whatever. Um, yeah, so All-Star Movies, maybe I did it wrong. Let's see here. Now I'm feeling embarrassed. All- All-Star Movies, um, in prefer I picked a preferred room because I feel like that's the closest you can get as a comparison to
no,
the
that's
Polynesian at the
yeah,
All-Stars. It's the difference of $25 a night.
yeah,
Um, no tickets. Oh, it did go down. It went down. It went down. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
yeah,
Escape.
but still, tell us.
1,425. So you're still
So
paying
still,
more
you're
at the
still
All
paying.
Stars
Yeah,
because thank you for checking my math. Thank God. Okay, so with the All Stars, it was 205, I think, a night for the 209 per
still.
night for a preferred room at the All Star movies. Same dates. So the dates I checked, if you want to do math at home, was the 14th through the 20th of September in 2025. And as of today, the standard room rate is $209.33. You do have to pay taxes when you book direct, which I don't think you pay on DVC unless I've missed something.
No, I don't believe you do.
Um, and with no ticket, 1425. Wow, I'm a crazy person. Now I'm embarrassed that I said that. But still,
Still,
it's still less. You're still paying
you're still
less.
for the like a 10 out of 10, a 5-star resort. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. The Polynesia. Like on the monorail, you get everything you want. You can have Kona breakfast delivered, or even better, you can have Ohana delivered to your room
Yeah,
for less money. So to me, I'd rather save the money. Um, Also, inflation is going to happen to everyone. So, like, this room at All Star Movies in 20 years is not going to be $209.
no,
It's going to be more, whereas the
correct,
points are going to stay the same.
correct.
So, don't trust my girl math ever again. But
But still,
basically, I think I'm pretty smart. Yeah.
still, that's
I
nice.
yeah, the comparison to me is crazy. Um, I don't know how you could ever pay like retail.
I know that's nuts. I can't believe that I just got DVC this month.
But like how would you have known?
I know if you don't math it out like you just did, where you like do it to the point into the year,
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is it just seems like so the Polynesian for those dates per night is $751 minimum. And that's for like a room, not
Yeah.
for a which I don't know what
So,
if any price difference is, but they also offer deluxe studios for a higher price. Whereas the rack rate, like what you can buy on Disney.com, is just like resort view room for $751 a night.
yeah. Yeah.
I just no. Oh, I did have tickets on that one too. 5,073.
Ooh.
Still a lot. 5,000 $73 versus 1,300 or 1,100.
Crazy.
I just like,
That's a lot.
no, it's a lot of money. Thousands. It's like many years of you could go on vacation 4 times.
Yeah,
I can't.
I'm speechless.
I
Sorry.
I'm speechless too. Check my math. Let me know what I did wrong, people at home, because now I feel like I can't math. But I think I did a pretty good job on the
No, I
other.
think you did.
It was just the button clicking I had a problem with.
Yeah. That's fair.
But anyway, you get a much better deal buying DVC over the long run, and you get a much better deal buying resale over direct.
Yes.
Um, we've touched a couple times, but we should also get into the nitty gritty about discounts and perks and what you get direct versus resale. It's really important to note that that changes month after month, year over year, as we've discussed. Like the Riviera thing is weird now.
Yeah.
There are no discounts for annual passes or tickets right now. There could be in the future. There have been in the past. As of right now, there are no discounts. So nobody's missing out on that, no matter what DVC they own. Um, General discounts. One that I just saw that we touched on for regular guests, but I don't know if you know this. In 2025, you will get a free water park admission on your arrival day, even with points.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
So if you book on points on your arrival day, you can go to the water parks, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I also read like a pro tip to do a split stay. A lot of people love split stays. I hate packing, so it's not worth it for me. But
Same.
if you do a split stay, you have a lot of arrival days, right? Because like
Right.
you have an arrival day at this hotel and then an arrival day at this hotel, and so you get multiple free days of water park admission.
Do I even get this resale?
I couldn't like understand in the Disney website, to be fair, because it's always like subject to terms and conditions, and like, are you subject to those terms and conditions? I don't know.
Probably. I'm like banned because they need to sell those $225 points.
Right. They play that game, and it's fair. I get it, but with the locals, so like I own DVC, I should be able to roll into Top of the World Lounge, right? Like,
Yeah.
why not? And you have to be on a valid direct contract booked stay to go up there. You can't just be like, here's my card, let me in. You have to be like booked. So also like take it with a grain of salt, because there are also people who like game the system and flash $100 at the door, and like the person lets them into the Top of the World Lounge. That's not like hard and fast. So if you see some influencer up there that never even sniffed a DVC contract, that's because it just depends on who you're dealing with.
Right.
But and then the craziest one was that resale can't book at Riviera and other resorts to come.
And I mean, don't quote me on this, but this is what I said to you. I think it's like it is all subject to change. So like,
yeah, definitely.
Someday Riviera is going to be old, and then maybe I can book. Who knows, right?
Right. And it's kind of relative, because this rule also kind of screws me as a direct buyer, because I want to book at Riviera, but you can't, but people who have direct Riviera contracts can only book there. Resale Riviera contracts can only book there. So they're going to take up, and they'll get priority booking window because it's their home resort. So like, it's going to be harder to get Riviera because that's the only hotel they can stay at.
Yeah, but also I think it's going to be harder because like people with resale can't. No, wait, what am I trying to say? No, the other resorts are going to be claimed quicker because like Riviera is out of the mix.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's like they're making a mess. I'm sure somebody much smarter than me has this all figured out, but it's a bummer for me.
Yeah, it's just interesting. So
there are some really cool direct perks. They're very limited, very, very, very limited. Um, but I will touch on them briefly. So we get me as a direct buyer from Disney, something that I get that you don't get is like 10% discount on tours. So like Wild Africa Trek, Keys to the Kingdom. 10% to me isn't worth buying direct, but that's a perk. And then like you mentioned, like the Moonlight Magic. So they do offer some special events in the parks and around the parks that you have to be a direct buyer to participate in. That being said, I live here. I want to go to Moonlight Magic all the time.
Right.
Now there's an early, which again, I agree is totally fair, but there's an early booking window. So if you have like a valid booked reservation on direct points on property during a Moonlight Magic, you get to book like 7 days earlier. And then if there's anything left over, the rest of us with direct contracts can like try to get a
Get in.
spot.
Got it.
Yeah. There are also some really cool ones over in California. So there's like an adventure walk through Disney California Adventure before the park opens. First thing in the morning, you have to pay. It's like $30 or something, but you
Worth.
can go like with a guide and like walk through the park before open and like see stuff and learn stuff. There's some yoga events sometimes. I forget what else I saw. There's a cruise, a fireworks cruise on Bay Lake or Seven Seas Lagoon. So if you want to watch Happily Ever After from the comfort and privacy of your own boat, it was like a pretty reasonable dollar amount.
Yeah, I remember you told me that.
Yeah, so that is there are a couple of cool perks for sure. I
Yeah.
saw like if you're at Alani, you can get like free popcorn bucket refills, which like if you're flying to Alani and bringing a refillable popcorn bucket because you want to save literal $3, we need to talk. Call me up. I need to know your secret. What's happening? Tell me everything. But a couple of cool perks, but to me, like when we're talking about thousands of dollars,
I know.
meh.
But when you math it out, like per the point per year, that math doesn't sound as scary as like the upfront difference.
Right.
But I don't know.
Agree. And I know like when we go to California, AJ like lives and dies for the DVC lounges out there. I don't know why. And I said lounges, I think there's only one, but it's in Space Mountain. Or
Yes,
like
you've
around Space Mountain. And he just like loves it. He feels like he gets to relax. It's private. The one here in Epcot is like pretty heavily trafficked, usually has like a wait list, etc. So I mean, they're like monitoring. Somebody came around the last time I was there and was like, excuse me, were you invited to these specific seats? Because there are assigned seats and like a time limit and you're on the clock. And I was like, sit down, ma'am. I go here.
so that's why resale is not allowed.
You're right. Yeah, right. They're turning and burning. And
Yeah.
I mean, for what you pay for a Disney vacation, I understand the value of a free cup of soda and a free bag of chips, which you get in the lounge. But no,
Yeah, I agreed.
I get it. Also, you can buy a direct contract of a small amount and then buy a resale contract of a larger amount, and you still have that direct, the perks. So there's a lot you got to kind of think about what's important to you.
Exactly.
Cons to DVC. I wanted to say a couple of cons because like it's not perfect. Number one, the booking windows can be tougher than just like going to WaltDisneyWorld.com or Disneyland.com or whatever. Especially in California. And the inventory can be limited, especially in California. So we're going in September, you and I looked into using points and I called in like January, and the man audibly laughed at me when I said, hi, I have Grand Floridian points and I would like to use them anywhere at the Californian or the new Disneyland villas or whatever it's called
Yeah,
for a 2 bedroom. Cause I was like, you and Kyle can have a room, AJ and I can have a room. Like, we'll just do that. And he was like, he told me there were less than 10 2 bedroom villas in the Disneyland hotel. Less than 10.
that's crazy.
So like you're not getting them
It's just
unless you have a direct contract
it's a
for
different
that hotel.
world over there.
Yeah,
With
I forget about it. They're California can go home. I love them. I'll be staying down the street.
yeah,
Um yeah, points
that's
if you don't want to use them, you can we have gifted them to people. So we've had like our college rowing coach, who's like how we met, come
mhm,
down with his family. And like the downfall of sports in college is like you're not making a ton of money. So we like put them up at Animal Kingdom Lodge for a week because we live here. We don't need to
right.
do it. And like literally was a once in a lifetime. He now is like a Disney psycho. He like loves it, trades the
You sold.
pins. Yeah, he's sold for life. Like loves it. Loves every minute. So you can do that. You also can rent your points out. There are
Mhm,
third-party websites that allow you to just like for the year, you're not going to use your points, rent them out for a little bit of cash. You can talk to your friends. Like I would let you use my points anytime. I wouldn't obviously make you pay to use my points, but like, there's plenty of ways to get value out of your points. You don't have to just like let them die if you're not coming to Disney this year. You can
right.
bank them, use them next year, any number of things. That's all I got.
Amazing. And I have no information on this, but when you said that like we could rent our points out, you can also rent, obviously, points. I don't really know any information on this, but Google it and
Yeah.
you'll find a website. And I do know that the cost is going to be cheaper for you to like rent DVC points to stay at the Polynesian than to pay cash directly to like to Disney World. So something to look into.
Yes. And I actually tried just quickly. I like hopped on a third party site that does that and tried to calculate the same week for the same estimation that we did earlier that I
Mhm.
failed epically at. And they didn't have any availability at the Polynesian for that week. So I couldn't even like math it out. But they had
Yeah,
a bungalow and it was like, I don't know, however much
it
money.
is.
But
I do know that if you are to do that, like it's harder if you have like a specific dates that you want to go,
yeah.
but because there's only certain dates available for you to rent, but something to look into.
Yeah. It's like a little try before you buy.
There you go.
We definitely would be happy to connect you. I said this before to our people. So we have a guy over here for direct sales. We have a guy over here for resale. Um, they know a lot. The guy that does the resale worked for Disney for 20
Mhm.
years before he got into the resale. So he really knows what he's talking about. Obviously, the Disney direct people know what they're talking about. And if they don't, they have the power to fix it because they work for Disney.
Yep.
So good people. But let us know. Send us a DM, send us an email. Our email is livingmagicallypodcast@gmail.com. Of course, you also can follow us on social. You are B Shelby Lee or Pixie Lee and Co. And I'm Galinda Ariel. I'm so glad I didn't say Cafe 47.
Oh my God.
Um, it's burned in there.
All right, fine. But don't forget, you can find us in the Facebook group as well. Just look up
Yeah.
Living Magically Podcast on Facebook.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Um, hope this was interesting. If you have more questions or want to know more, let us know. Because I also did talk to that guy from DVC Resale, and he was like, yeah, I would love to come on the pod. And he's probably better
Yeah,
at math than I am. So, maybe he could help us break it down
more.
better.
But
But yeah, let us know.
either way, happy to be part of the club.
Yeah, you're in.
Woohoo!
Took you long enough.
I know, seriously.
But
Ah,
no, I think we're on the right trend here. Also, it means that you and I get to be together for a small period of time every year in perpetuity.
duh.
Love that.
Alrighty.
How's Brooksy doing?
Let's see if I can move the camera. He's out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What a good boy. I love that you can just like talk, jick, laugh, whatever. He doesn't care.
He's used to his dad screaming at the TV. This is quiet.
Hilarious. I love it.
Alrighty.
I'll see you next week.
We'll chat next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.